Okay, looks like we are back once again into Champion Select here. So, once again, it is different dimension on the blue side, and Epic Avalanche blue on the purple side. I think we should be getting this game underway now. I believe currently we're treating the situation as if this is the first game of the series, and it is currently 0-0 between the teams. However, that might change because that might be the case that different dimension have to forfeit the game that would have happened prior to this one. So we'll try and keep you updated with that as you goes. I'll get some information fed to me throughout the cast, hopefully, if it comes through. So two champions been banned already. The first is Shen on the side of Different Dimension. Corki also banned out by Epic Avalanche, and Azir also banned away so far.
I'm a bit interested in the Shen ban because Shen got a rework in season 6, and I for one think that Shen is actually very strong. I feel like he can be such a good dueling top laner now that his Q brings some, as far as I remember, max health damage with it, and he's also able to block out a lot of auto attacks. So I really feel like he's strong top laner. I'm not ban worthy, but he's definitely a strong top laner. And if Don Corleone is a very good Shen, then it's definitely a good ban.
Yeah, the last three bans also came through. Lucian, Callista, and Gragas being banned out. So some pretty heavy focus on towards marksman so far. Three of them banned out, as well as a jungler, a top laner who could potentially also be a jungler, I really don't know, and a mid laner.
Yes, and now we are waiting for the first pickup. It's something like Corgi are still open, so you could go for that better.
No, Corki is most certainly not.
Oh yeah, Corgi, Corgi actually got banned. But hey, let me rephrase that. Kindred and Graves are open, so you can go for these early game dueling junglers, and we'll see in 4 seconds what it's going to be.
Yeah, Tana's taking his time with this lock-in. Okay, so we've been having a little bit of problems so far with placeholder champions being locked in, and a couple of times Heimerdinger has been locked in, but it's not actually meant to be Heimerdinger, so we might have to remake this game, but we will treat it for now as if that is a Heimerdinger lock-in on the side of Different Dimension, but it might not be, so bear that in mind. Lulu and Kindred on the other side, locked in for Epic Avalanche Blue, and I think those are two very strong picks right now.
Definitely some very strong picks, because Kindred is that jungler that can invade, can build a devour, so they'll also be able to scale, and they can bring so much damage, and they're also opened up for a double AD carry composition. So I really like the two pickups over on the side of Epic Avalanche Blue, and Lulu also just is this utility mage that can be flexed to the top lane and to the mid lane, even support if you want to. So while you already have that double AD carry, well, you have the opportunity to go for a double AD carry composition, you also have a good support to bring some utility to the table already.
Look who Nidalee is playing. Nidalee was not banned by the side of Epic Avalanche Blue. They decided that it was not worth banning, despite the name of the Different Dimension jungler. So Nidalee will be playing Nidalee for this game, which makes calling him Nidalee a hell of a lot easier so far. And also, Orianna is the other lock-in coming into the mid lane for MGBE on the side of Different Dimension.
So this is the first Orianna we're seeing this tournament, and she actually received some buffs here in patch 6.6. So now her Q, it scales better in the early game as well, and it has a lower cost. So she, while already being very easy to farm with because of her passive, can now be even better at farming because a Q just allows her to go for a lot. Well, it allows her to use her abilities to farm.
Indeed, and now we are seeing the whole of the bottom lane locked in for Epic Avalanche, and it is going to be Sivir Alistar, so very engage heavy, especially once you get to level 6, because On the Hunt will help get Unlucky Eru into range for the Headbutt Pulverize combo, or for a Flash Pulverize into headbutting backwards. So could be quite dangerous engage on that side, and we have seen Jax locked in on the other side. That would be going for Tanas in the top lane. That makes me think the Heimerdinger pick, probably not the actual pick, unless we're going to be seeing some Heimerdinger support action here, which something tells me isn't quite what's going to go on. No, well, okay, no, Heimerdinger ADC, I guess, as Hungry Panda locks in the Soraka for the last pick on the side of different dimension. So we'll probably have to remake this lobby unless they actually are bringing out the Heimerdinger AD carry, but I'm sure that will not take long if we are forced to do that. On the side of Epic Avalanche, they have also locked in their final pick, and that will be Heimerdinger. I mean, not Heimerdinger, sorry. Malphite going over to the top lane for Don Corleone.
And here comes the remake of the
Yeah,
lobby.
okay.
So let's just talk a little bit about the two team compositions. I really like what Epic Avalanche Blue had picked up, because you have a lot of peeling for 280 carries, the Kindred and the Sivir, and you have on the hunt that will allow you to get into the fray. So I really love their team composition. I feel like it's very well rounded, and there are just a clear win condition of protecting your 280 carries, scale to the mid game where your Devourer will be fully stacked. Sivir will have a few itams, so will Lulu, and the thing they just have to look out for is the early game that can come out from different dimensions, because of Nidalee is that early game jungler, so she can definitely be a pain in the butt for Epic Avalanche Blue, and and even Soraka will be able to help with her wish. She'll be able to heal people up globally on the map.
Yeah, of course. And it was actually a Caitlyn that Heimer was hiding from us, so taken off the mask of the Dinger, and now it is Caitlyn, which will be locked in for Miracles in the bottom side, which lends some even more early game power there, because Caitlyn, very good, particularly in the very early game at bullying champions, off of the waves, and Sivir, a lower range AD carry, and of course the fact that Unlucky Arrow is playing a melee support means that it's going to be harder for them to get to the wave than if they were longer range champions. So Miracles, if he manages to play that bottom lane correctly along with Hungry Panda, could accrue a really significant CS advantage in that lane. Some of the spells have been locked in now, and we're actually seeing Exhaust taken by MGBE, which is interesting because I don't think that's probably going to be going on to Rakoanos all that much on that Lulu.
Yeah, it's most likely just there to keep Troller Dog away from MGB. I for one would rather have seen a double teleport. I mean, for the side of Epic Avalanche Blue, they have a double teleport, and double teleport is just so strong. So if you could have matched the double teleport on the side of Epic Avalanche Blue, your early game would also have been better because of Nidalee. It would have complemented that Nidalee pick, especially. So I think that the double teleport would have been so much better than the exhaust.
But what I'm seeing so far out of the different dimension team composition is that they've picked a self-sufficient bot lane who can do really well on their own without any aid from the jungler required, because they're just such a strong bottom lane, at least until they hit level 6 and the engage potential for Imbi and Unlucky Eru hits them in the face, which it might well do. We'll have to see if that's the case. But for now, let's say they have a very strong bottom lane which doesn't need assistance from Nidalee Ban. And then in the middle lane, Orianna, a very safe laner, doesn't really need too much help, can't really be solo killed that much, and Rakoanos on Lulu, not exactly a solo kill sort of champion either, so should be pretty okay there. And meanwhile, Jax in the top lane, now he is a laner who, he has a bit of a rough time early, a rougher time early than some would say, so that means that Nidalee Ban, I imagine, will be trying to help him out a lot, and ganking plenty for him on the top side, trying to take down Don Corleone time and time again to get the Jax rolling, to get the split push up for different dimension as they look to try and win that game out. And I think that in that way, allowing Nidalee Ban to focus much more on the top side by picking strong or safe lanes in the other two lanes means that different dimension have a good chance here.
Yeah, I see the point you're making, and I just feel like with that Orianna pick, you are committing to a farm lane in the mid lane, and that, of course, will benefit both of the mid laners. But I feel like it'll benefit the most for Epic Avalanche Blue because of that Lulu pick. You already have Sivir and Kindred that will deal the damage, so you don't exactly need to have a farm heavy mid laner for Epic Avalanche Blue, but it's just so great to have Lulu on the side of them. So I feel like with Lulu being able to get way more utility out of the resources that she gets, I feel like it benefits her and her team as a whole instead of different dimensions.
Okay. And what do you think of the double exhaust that they are running on the side of different dimension. I mean, Trolldog's probably going to find himself shut down an awful lot of times as he tries to get onto people and find himself exhausted time and time again. Might be able to work around it, work around the cooldowns, but it could be quite frustrating for him going into this game.
It definitely could, and I mean, the exhausts, as you mentioned, will most likely go over to Trolldog. And Imbi, of course, if Imbi gets close enough, Sivir doesn't really have that big of an auto attack range, so the exhaust could definitely also go over to her, but also Don Corleone, if he goes for example, an Iceborne Gauntlet, he can deal quite a lot of damage. Also, if he goes for an Abyssal Scepter, so in that sense, exhaust wouldn't be wasted to if you use it on Don Corleone either. So you can definitely use the exhaust on most of the targets over on the side of Epic Avalance Blue.
So here we are now in the loading screen. We get to see the skins, we get to see the Keystone Masteries as well. Nothing too surprising there. But you mentioned the fact that Sivir is a short range AD carry, meaning that there'll be Sivir or Imbi will have to get closer to MGB and Hungry Panda and will get some exhausts his way. I don't think that's necessarily the case because in team fights now with the new ricochet changes means that Imbi can just hit the front line of different dimension and it will make its way to the backline because of the ricochet, and because it crits, the ricochet making its way to the backline actually does significant damage to them. So in that way Sivir can hit all 5 members of the team if it's a big team fight with all 5 members there at once, basically.
That is definitely true, and I'd actually like to talk about the Keystone Mastery for Jax, because he has Fervor of Battle. So he's going to be missing out on a lot of sustain that could have come from the Keystone Mastery that you normally run on top laners. So Nidalee will definitely have to come a lot to top lane in order to keep Tannis alive, because his sustain aren't going to be on par as Don Corleone's will be.
Yep, so welcome to what might be potentially game 1, what might be potentially game 2 of our other semi-final here in the Highlight TV Cup Series sponsored by Ozone between Different Dimension, the Greek team on the blue side, and Epic Avalanche Blue, the Finnish Giants on the red side.
And out of the opening gates we go. Both teams are trying to win this. They obviously want to go into the grand final, and it's going to be a very explosive game, I'm sure. And I know for a fact that Different Dimensions, they have a lot of supporting viewers here today, so they definitely are on home ground.
Yeah, I suppose that is true in a way. Both sides going to be starting up with 5-point defenses, or maybe 4-point defenses on the side of Epic Avalanche Blue. Not looking to get too aggressive in this level 1, so not much action going to be going on here, but it does look like Epic Avalanche are actually calling the lane swap right now, as we do see their bottom lane backing away, and Don Corleone heading down towards the bottom side to start double jungling with Trolldog.
I like that decision, because Tannis on the Jax, if you can shut him down, then you are already on a good path to shutting down Jax that can be such a late game monster. So I like that decision, and Sivir with a Ricochet, which is an auto attack reset, can also push down towers really fast, kill minions in the process of taking towers as well. And you don't really need to get gold over to the side of Don Corleone. Of course, it's nice to get the gold, but in the end, what matters is Unstoppable Force. But here comes Miracles and Hungry Panda.
Yeah, they've been spotted out on a ward, so Trolldog and Don Corleone know that they're coming, and to be honest, I don't think they're expecting to see Don Corleone and Trolldog there. In fact, they do pop the ward over to the Gromp. They're expecting to see the bottom lane of Epic Avalanche starting that, but meanwhile, the Epic Avalanche bot lane are trying to go for the other Gromp right now. They've gone on towards Nidalee and Tannis, and they might find themselves punished for it here. Flash forward with the counter-strike, gets the stun up towards him. Nidalee is ignited and might have to back away for now, but they could look to re-engage this fight. Unlucky Eru is going very low, and he's not very tanky for an early game Alistar. Still sends the spear towards Imbi, though I'm not sure that was the right decision for Nidalee, and they will be able to escape just about. Unlucky Eru will have his flash forced, and the heal from Imbi as well. Tannis once again going in, looking for a stun, but again, can't quite find it. And Imbi and Unlucky Eru, they tried to disrupt, but I think they got burned there. I think that was worse for them, certainly, than it was for Different Dimension.
Definitely worse for Epic Avalance Blue than it was from different dimensions. I mean, you now have not a squatter's way of pushing down the tower in the top lane. All you really wanted was to go in there and put down a little bit of damage, but really the spear that came out from Nidalee Ban were just so crucial in turning that around. But actually, Tanas is actually forced to stay with Nidalee Ban still, despite the bot lane pushing for different dimensions.
Yeah, but they know that the Rome squad is coming, and they know that Don Corleone is heading towards the top side to try and trade turrets. And actually, the fact that Tanas and Nidaliban chased the bottom lane of Epic Avalanche for so long does mean they're way behind the pace right now in the lane swap. And Tanas will now be heading towards the bottom side trying to trade the turrets, but it might be a lot quicker for Epic Avalanche right now, and we'll be able to see if they're able to make that momentum swing in their favor. There is a slight gold lead, however, already building up for Different Dimension, who have just been farming better so far. If you look at Miracles' farm compared to Imbi's, it is a ginormous gap already there, so might not be too bad in the end. And actually, they did do some decent work to the turret, but they're going to have to wait for another wave now, so that might hurt them a little bit as the tempo of this game increases.
And normally in a lane swap, you let your top laner have the tower on its own so that he can get all of the local gold that would come out of the tower. But actually, Epic Avalance Blue, they decided to split the gold between three members, between Imbi, Unlucky Hero, and Don Corleone. So as much as I like that decision, I feel like Unlucky Hero shouldn't have been there. It's not efficient to put that much gold over to your support at this point in the game, because he doesn't even get a side stone. So it should have been Imbi, who's already very far behind, and Don Corleone that would have gotten that tower. And they don't even get the Rift Herald as well. So right now it's actually different dimensions that are in the best spot.
Uh-oh. Tanas might find himself in trouble here. Unlucky Eru is there, and so is Rakawanos to put the picks on him for first blood. Dragon took him so low, and he just had no way of escaping from that dragon pit.
And now it's actually Epic Avalance Blue that are in the lead with that first blood going over to the side of Recuano. Oh, how do you do that? Yeah, Rakawanos. I'm not that good with names.
It's certainly a tough one.
Yeah, it is. And actually, Imbi knew that he would be at a disadvantage in the bottom side now that we are going to be seeing standard lanes. So he went for a call, and call gives a bit more sustain than the Dawn's Blade because it gives 3 life on hits, so that's already quite a lot. And the thing about the call is that it's good in itself because you get the 450 gold you invest into it back when you reached 100 stacks, and then you can also sell it for even more. So it's actually a pretty good item, especially when you might be at a little bit of disadvantage. You could see that Imbi took a lot of damage, but here comes Troller Dog in the mid lane.
Yeah, he comes into the mid lane, but the command protect was there from MGB, and he doesn't actually end up taking any damage from that whatsoever. Had the exhaust available to him, of course, if it got a little bit itchy for him there, and if he felt like he was in a little bit of trouble. But the fact that Miracles right now has that pickaxe finished already, and Imbi's just sitting on the Cullen Doran's blade, means that Imbi cannot contest for the farm whatsoever. Nidaliban, however, is contesting Troller Dog here. Troller Dog has his mark on towards Nidaliban, but Nidaliban has the level advantage. Rakawanis is coming for the collapse, though. NGB is there to support, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to be going down. The fight will be disengaged in the end, but Nidaliban actually heading straight back into the jungle after that, and might get into another fight with Troller Dog here. Spear doesn't let it. Actually lands on towards the Krugs, and Troller Dog might have the better of this fight as a result of that. Nidaliban just going to hop over the wall into the Baron pit, I should say, or rather the Rift Herald pit. Troller Dog did the same, but aggroed Rift Herald at the same time, which means he's going to take some damage from it. Rakawanos is coming, but so is MGBE, who does have his ultimate available. Both ultimates are available for each mid laner. There is the Shockwave, but flashed away from neatly by Troller Dog, means that it's not going to be a problem for him.
Yeah, not a problem at all. And Nidaliban might have been a little bit overestimating his own ability to fight Troller Dog there in the jungle. I mean, Kindred is clearly just the best jungler at the moment in terms of 1v1ing and skirmishing. So you have to be wary of that. And also AP junglers, we're not seeing them as much here in 6.6 because the the Runic Echoes took a hit. Its damage went down from 80 to 60 damage. So it's not as good anymore, and that definitely tones someone like Nidalee's damage down a little bit.
Yeah, no, a little bit, but certainly still not the least powerful item in the game, and that is, of course, what Nidalee Man will be going for in the jungle there. Not seeing any AD Nidalee shenanigans or tank Nidalee or anything like that. Thanos and
That's
Don Corleone farming it up in the top side, but Don Corleone has hit level 6 earlier and actually does go in for the ultimate now. There is the Grasp of the Undying proc, which Tanas does not have available, and he'll have to flash away from that one. Got a bit greedy for some farm there and positioned himself way too close to the huge rock that is Don Corleone.
and the problem is just that Tanas doesn't have the grasp of the dying, so he don't really have that much of sustain. It's only his corrupting potion, and when he's chucking that down very fast, there's no way that he'll be able to sustain through an unstoppable force coming from Don Corleone.
And he is really being shut down quite hard in this top lane right now. A 14 CS deficit in favor of the Malphite, who's not even a particularly strong laner, so Thanas is having quite a lot of trouble there, and that will delay his scaling quite significantly. There's always going to be a point where Jax becomes strong. He'll hit his item spikes no matter what, unless, of course, Epic Avalanche can actually finish the game before that, but if they delay it long enough, the game might already be out of different dimensions' reach by the time he gets to it.
And now turn your eyes towards Rekeone's build. Sorry, his pocket, his items, because if you take a look at it, he has the Frost Queen's Claim.
Yeah.
And it's only really Lulu you see building a Frost Queen's Claim anymore. But I still love the item. Despite it being nerfed a lot in the recent patches, it's still very strong. And someone like Lulu, who has a lot of utility, with her getting more utility, that's really good.
Yeah, no, obviously complements the kit fairly nicely. Troller Dog looking for a gank in the top side. Might find himself in trouble instead. Lands Respite is popped. The Nidalee Band is waiting there over the wall. Corleone's here to try and turn it around. Nidalee Band does go low. Does pick up the kill onto Troll Dog. Can help over the wall. Don Corleone flashes over to meet them though. And there is the kill. He'll try and pick up another one onto Thanas now. That's a huge amount of damage, actually, from the ground pound there. And Glitter Lance comes through. Thanas does get the stun up, as well as the Silence Zone, which does lock up Don Corleone. The Shockwave comes in, gets both of them. Wild Growth from Rakuanos. He actually goes in for the Assassinate onto Thanas, but he gets exhausted there by MGBE. And MGBE is able to pick up that kill. Really well played there by Different Dimension to pick up 2 kills.
Yeah, 2 kills for 1 for different dimensions. Well played by them and a good roam, but now Don Corleone might be in some trouble, but he has unstoppable force. No, he got silence.
Oh, the banana, not enough, but there it is. The bull is enough. MGBE picks it up. The silence was expertly placed by Hungry Panda, and this has shifted the game completely now in favor of Different Dimension with that 3 for 1 they took in the top side.
And that skirmish in the top side were just so good for different dimensions. And I mean, it was really MGB that saved that fight for him. He came in like a wrecking ball, and now we might see a wrecking ball in the bottom lane as well.
Uh-oh, Pulverize missed, but Unlucky Eru went low, but Nidalee Band's also going low. Ignites on towards him. Imbi takes down that kill. There are the spooky ghosts. Baits a flash out of Miracles. He'll be forced to use that one to escape. Meanwhile, the turret is traded in the top side. So 1 outer turret each, and all of the outer turrets now, besides the ones in the middle lane, have gone down. But the gold is still in favor of Different Dimension, despite that extra kill that was picked up.
Yes, and look at the top side. MGB and Hungry Panda are still pushing. They don't care at all, and Don Corleone can do nothing against 3 members that are about to be in the top side for different dimensions.
Yeah, he doesn't have flash available, doesn't have his ult available either. They could look to dive him when the next wave comes in, however, they seem to decide better of it. The dissonance will get them away speedily right now. Thanas going to recall back to base. We're going to have it stopped by the little Krug. Bit annoying for him, but he will take it out in revenge. Meanwhile, Troller Dog and Unlucky Eru 2-manning this dragon for Epic Avalanche, and they will be able to take that one down without any trouble whatsoever. So 1 dragon apiece now in this game.
And actually, despite Imbi being down in CS, he is ahead in terms of total goals, sorry, and he still has his call. So once that call reaches 100 stacks, he's going to get even further ahead in terms of gold. So really, it's so good. It's going so good for Imbi right now. Even Troller Dog is in a good spot. Has 0 stacks of his Devour, obviously, just got it, so a little bit behind in terms of stacking that, but once he gets the Devour, it's still a Devour, so you just have to keep looking for objectives like the Dragon to pick up, and maybe even go for Rift Hell, despite it only giving 2 stacks as far as I can remember.
Yeah, no, but every stack counts, right? To borrow
Yes,
a motto
exactly.
from everyone's favorite supermarket, or maybe not everyone's favorite supermarket, don't know, but I think only UK viewers will get that, so never mind. But anyway, a little bit of ward clearing going on from Hungry Panda there as Imbi looks to head up towards the middle lane now. We might have a bit of ARAM going on here now because MGB, Hungry Panda, Miracles all there on the side of different dimension. Trolladog coming in though, and Unlucky Eru looks for an engage onto MGB. They go on towards him. Shockwave doesn't land onto anyone. Trolladog was actually trying to focus Hungry Panda on the side, but I think it wasn't enough to take him down, and the fact that Hungry Panda's alive means the heals can come in no matter how many knockups they throw at MGB. He stays alive with those heals from Hungry Panda, and now it looks like Epic Avalanche Blue are just going to take a free turret in the middle lane for themselves. So they did manage to zone different dimension away. Niddlyband coming in, but a very well-timed Lamb's Respite keeps Trolladog alive, and Niddlyband knocked up inside it, will be the one who goes down, loses the duel to Trolladog there, who picks up the kill. But meanwhile, Tanas actually picked up a turret on the top side, and he has that Gwynsu's now. He can do so much damage, gets a return kill onto Don Corleone. Revenge for that solo kill earlier in the game, or actually it wasn't quite a solo kill, he did flash away in the end, but still revenge nonetheless. And now he's on towards the inhibitor turrets, and I'm not sure Epic Avalanche have much of a response to this right now. They need to go back and stop it, but they're pushing waves. They're not focusing on the objective that Tanas is taking from them right now.
You need to respect that Jax. Ginsu's Jax is just so strong. Exactly, it's gone. He took 2 towers under the nose of Epic Avalanche Blue. And in the mid lane, Don Corleone shouldn't have stayed so long for that outer turret. He should have gone to the top lane faster, because it's just outplaying by different dimensions over for Epic Avalanche. I mean, they got 3 towers while Epic Avalanche got 1 tower and 1 kill.
Yeah, before this all it was 2 turrets apiece, so now it's 5 turrets over to the side of different dimension, only 3 on the side of Epic Avalanche, so they're falling behind the pace now, and the fact that no one really responded to that was just so curious, because, I mean, Imbi wasn't doing much, Trolladog was taking blue buff, it wasn't that essential to finish that off, he could have just gone back and tried to help save the turret, but it wasn't to be. Don Corleone into the bot side. Spooky Ghost help him with his chase, but he is slowed down by the dissonance. MGB might be able to escape here. It looks like he's going to, despite the fact that Rakuanos and Don Corleone were both down there. Niddlyband taking away blue buff. Does actually find the spear on towards Trolladog, who's sitting on a pink ward and not clearing it. Niddlyband goes in, but Trolladog just about escapes with the summoner heal. Will be blocked by Imbi, the ace in the hole, but the spear won't be, and the spear lands. MGBE, meanwhile, he's probably going to be going down after all as Rakuanos and Unlucky Eru got on towards him. There it is, the picks and the glitterlance. But this whole time, Tanas is doing just hashtag Jax things and pushing the top lane inhibitor.
And I think he might be able to take the inhibitor despite 2 people recalling on the side of Epic.
It's gone. There it is.
That's an inhibitor. You need to respect the Jax. Really, it looks so good for Epic Avalanche Blue as they found 2 picks. I think it was, or at least 1. They found the pick onto MGB, but then Tanas, he teleported to the top side. He picked up an inhibitor, and now for different dimensions, they are able to go take the dragon because nobody can deal with the super minions quite yet. There's not enough damage on the side of Epic Avalanche Blue to deal with this, and Tanas can just keep going to the top lane.
Yeah, or he can switch lanes and try and split push on the bottom lane instead. Now that's also an option for him right now. Imbi going to be recalling back to base, not sure, just going to pick up an item or 2, probably looking to sell the Cull at some point as well, if that's what's going to happen. Not going to sell the Cull, just picking up a Zeal for himself instead. More crits coming through with the Ricochet. It synergizes very well with that now that it can do the crit. So crit, very essential for Imbi to pick up more of that. Rakuanos will head towards the bottom side, and that is where we see Tanas heading already. So he is already looking to start up that split push there instead now, because minions have the auto split push in the top side. Don Corleone cancels a million autos before finally taking down the minion. Niddlyband going to be taking down Rift Scuttler. Trolladog is hanging around, might look for a contest, doesn't know it's happening though, and is just going to back away.
And now different dimensions, they are in a great spot to take the next dragon. Yeah, there's no teleporter over on the side of Don Corleone. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be up for the next dragon. 2 seconds. Yeah, okay, so it will be up for the next dragon, but even then Don Corleone will be very low. He needs to go back if Epic Avalanche Blue wants to contest this dragon. Yeah, he's going to go back, so we're probably going to see a contest coming from Epic Avalanche Blue. But still, I'm not quite sure if they have enough damage to deal with different dimensions, because Imbi only has an Essence Reaver and a Seal, so there's not even a Sated Devourer on the side of Troll Dog. They are simply not scaled up enough to deal with the damage that can come out of different dimensions.
Yeah, and you're right to point out the fact that Trollog doesn't have the Sated Devourer. He's not even anywhere remotely close. Only 6 stacks on that right now, and that is just not good enough, really. If you're looking to devour a Kindred, you need to be prepared to farm up and get those camps, and he's looking to find 5 more stacks as he heads towards Dragon Pit, but it's being defended very effectively by Different Dimension, and now Tanas actually has returned to the top side, and he'll be pushing in, and if they're not careful, he's just going to take inhibitor turrets. They can't test this Dragon. This is going to be free. The ports are stopped by Miracles there, so very good play to stop that from Rakoanos. Don Corleone is there to try and defend, does put some decent damage onto Tanas, who decides he's not going to quite be ready yet to start hitting on those Nexus turrets, but you know, he's pretty close to it, and I mean, that's just so scary right now for Epic Avalanche, and they need to come up with a better response for this Jax than they have been.
Yes, and at this point for Different Dimensions, they should be picking up the Rift Herald, and they should be giving it over to Tanas, just so Tanas can go to the bottom side and start to push there. I'm not quite sure if the inhibitor, well, it's going to be respawning very soon, so Tanas can go to the top side again if he wants to, and there we go, the Rift Herald going over to Tanas. So Tanas' split push are just so strong, and nobody can deal with him at this point.
No, I really don't think anyone would be able to 1v1 him, and even 2v1 it might be a bit of a stretch. I mean, depending on the members who were there, but he's just so powerful, and he's gonna head back towards the top side. And you mentioned the lane swap was there to try and shut down the Jax, and I mean, they didn't shut him down very effectively, clearly, because as soon as he got the Gwynsus, and now he's got the Hextech Gunblade as well, I mean, he's just been so powerful ever since that moment, and there's nothing they've been able to do to stop him.
Yeah, they didn't respect the split push of Tanas, and that really allowed him to get a lot of gold to get back into the game, and now we can see he's in the bottom side, and who are you going to send there? Because Rekionis won't be able to deal with him. Imbi will just get 1v1, and Don Corleone can't deal with him either. So you need more than one person to be there.
There's the help ping. Araquanos needs assistance if he wants to deal with Tanos. He's trying to deal with him here. Tanos is focusing down the turret first. He's turned into a little dragony sort of thing there, but he's going to go on towards Rakoanos, who has burned his own ultimate. In comes on the hunt. Imbi picks up that kill. Tanos staying alive right now, and the Soraka heals are also there for him, as well as heals from Nidalee Ban, and now Unlucky Eru, he's going to be going down as well. Imbi trying to win the 1v fight with MGB, but MGB picks it up with an auto attack. Tanas did finally go down to the unstoppable force of Don Corleone. Don Corleone flashes in, trying to get that extra bit of damage to try and take MGB down, but he won't manage it. And meanwhile, Trolladog, he's trying to get one return kill onto the Soraka. He will manage it, but I'm not sure he can take on the rest of them here. He's got to try and go aggressive onto Miracles, but Miracles has got the jump on him, got so much damage on towards him already. A big headshot comes through. There is the Lamb's Respite. It'll keep him alive for a moment. It's a 50-50 now, and he does take down Miracles. MGB has to flash away, but the bull smacks Trolladog in the face and picks up that kill. MGB has to run now because in comes the teleport from Rakoanos. He's coming forward. There is the Glitterlance with the flash. A shutdown kill for Rakoanos. This fight is insane. It's still going because Nidalee Ban's trying to turn it on towards Rakoanos, but in comes Unlucky Eru to save the day for Rakoanos. But meanwhile, Tanas, he's killing the inhibitor again, and that was so quick. That was such a quick kill on towards Imbi. He's going to pick up the inhibitor. One more auto attack. He will get taken down, but I'm sure he's perfectly happy to trade his life for that. He got the kill. He got the inhibitor. Oh my goodness, what on earth is going on?
I cannot comprehend what is happening in this game. Now, you can see Epic Avalanche Blue, they are pinging onto the Baron. They know that they have to make a desperation play, but Nidalee Ban is coming up in 5 seconds. MGB just respawned. I'm not quite sure that they'll be able to take the Baron. There's not even a Sated Devourer yet for Trolladog, and he only has he has 12 stacks.
12,
so he has only just doubled his stacks, and you need Imbi to be there as well to pick up the Baron. The best you can hope for is some vision around the Baron pit.
That's all they've got out of this, and that's not enough. The kills are even, but the map pressure and the turrets certainly are not. And I mean, Tanas, he's just so huge, and there's nothing they can do about it. Don Corleone, he's trying his best to deal with him. He's got both magic resist and armor for the mixed damage that Tanas can bring, but it's really not enough. We did see that fight going quite back and forward, so that was vaguely promising for Epic Avalanche Blue, but the fact that they lost an inhibitor out of it means that it's rather less promising than it would be if we just look at the fight on its own.
Yes, that is definitely true. And now, Miracles, he's been farming all game, so he's finally reached the point where he's very strong. He has the Infinity Edge and the Rune and Hurricane, so he will not be the one really carrying team fights. That is obviously Thanos and MGB, but the wave clearing definitely doesn't hurt to get alongside MGB. Oh, wait,
Ooh, Shockwave used onto Rakuanos, just for a bit of poke damage really. Thanos wasn't in position to follow up, and MGB might be in trouble now. He Zonias to buy himself time, and the team can come in. In come the heals from Hungry Panda as well. And Troller Dog was actually the one who went lowest out of that. On the Hunt was popped as well by Imbi. That's a lot of tools already gone down, or a couple of tools at least, and a lot of health bars going down on the side of Epic Avalanche Blue. They cannot contest this turret taken. I'm not sure they can test this one too much either. Thanos, he is taking turret aggro though from the auto attacks he's putting onto Don Corleone. He can't quite take that turret yet, but he'll be pressuring it the whole time. And Different Dimension, they're on towards this middle inhibitor turret. I'm not sure they're going to get it though. Unlucky Eru gets on towards Hungry Panda. Hungry Panda very low, is going to go down to Troller Dog despite the wish being used. Troller Dog with the Lamb's Respite to keep himself alive. Imbi can keep chasing on towards Miracles. He turns on towards Nidalee instead. Miracles flashes the unstoppable force from Don Corleone, and there is a heal from Nidalee. Will they be able to do this? I'm not sure. He's going to get out alive. He does just about get to last stylish heads up, but the whole time Thanos, he was taking that inhibitor turret in the bottom side. He did take it, does go down again, once again trading his life for an objective, but again I think that's pretty much worth it. MGB though, he didn't need to be there. He might actually turn a kill around onto Rakuanos. He does. Nidalee is here. MGB, I said he didn't need to be there, but he wants to be there because he's just taking them down all of a sudden. He can move on towards the inhibitor. Only Imbi and Unlucky Eru alive for Epic Avalanche right now. In Different Dimension, it's chaotic, but they're making it work.
This is ridiculous. How are Different Dimensions turning this around all the time? It is just because they are so far ahead, but whenever the team fight is looking so bad for them, they just turn it around really well, and now they're taking the base.
They're taking the inhibitor. In comes Don Corleone from the backside, though. He TP'd in behind. He's going to go aggressive, but he doesn't have his ultimate, so that's a lackluster flank at best. Just throws down the ground shard there, and it's not enough. Pounds the ground as well. On towards Nidalee does force them away. They can't take the Nexus turrets quite yet, but the triple inhibitor is basically a death sentence for Epic Avalanche.
Yes, it is. And now they are going to be spawning two super minions in every lane because of the 3 inhibitors that went down. So the Different Dimensions, they could basically just sit back and relax. The minions will do most of the work for them.
I am just getting a little bit of news, meanwhile, that for the Win Esports and Mysterious Monkeys, that series has been equalized to 1-1, so there will be a third deciding game in that series to decide who gets to go through to the grand final of the Highlight TV Cup series, and who will join them in this game. At the moment, based on this performance, is looking like Different Dimension, but this game would be so much closer if it wasn't for the fact that Thanos was so huge on that Jackson, just taking down so many objectives.
Yeah, if Thanos didn't have so much room to play around with, especially around towers, then this game might have been looking very different. I mean, it's basically just Thanos that gave Different Dimensions so much gold from towers.
Yeah, and trying to clear out these double super minion waves, but it takes so long because the double super minions are just so strong, and the fact that they have all this pressure does mean that it looks like Different Dimension, they're going to go on towards the Baron Nashor here, and I'm not sure there's a huge amount of response that can be brought from Epic Avalanche. If they do, they might lose significant portions of their base. They're looking to try and contest it, though. Troll Dog hanging out over the wall. There is a ward in there, so they know exactly when it's going low. In comes the TP. The Lamb's Respite used to make sure Troll Dog doesn't get burst down as soon as he gets in, but it runs out, and now he's getting burst down. The Nidalee Band takes down the kill, takes down the Baron as well. Meanwhile, Unlucky Eru's gone down as well. Rakuanos just about going to get away. No, he's not, because there is the ace in the hole. Kill from Nidalee as well. Don Corleone, he's given up. He's going down. This is going to be the game now for Different Dimension, as Thanos was already on towards the Nexus turrets, and there is the surrender vote, bringing this game to 1-0 right now in favor of Different Dimension.
Well played by Different Dimensions, and especially Thanos. He was such a crucial factor in this victory for Different Dimensions. Very well played.
Yeah, absolutely. They came out fighting, certainly, in this game, and what a game it was in the end. So congratulations to Different Dimension for picking up the first win in this series. Quick reminder that For the Win Esports and Mysterious Monkeys is now one apiece as well. So that series going down to the wire. I'm not sure if we'll be casting the next game of this series or the next game of that series next, but whichever game it is, you certainly do not want to miss it, because this is really hotting up right now in the Highlight TV Cup series. We'll see you for the next game.